Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
All right, guys, welcome. Happy Monday. Hope everybody's doing good. Hang on one second. I'm just finishing up some administrative stuff here. Welcome. Who we got in the house? Trevor, Juicy, Damrick, Punchy, John, the Business Bull. Ryan, what's up? Trevor, I'm glad we got whatever your YouTube chat situation was. I'm glad you got that worked out. So the agenda for tonight, I'm going to go through Judge Zern's letter. It's going to be pretty quick because, we mostly know what's going on. I'm not going to do a lot of commentary because I'm going to clip this section out. Once I start talking about the letter, I'm going to clip this out and put it in a standalone video. Then after that, we're going to do, the normal hangout Q&A. You can definitely get some opinion after that. And Stephen is going to come on and talk about his Q&A with Adam Aaron in Vegas. And I haven't even heard these answers yet, so I'm excited to hear that. Maybe we will talk about the SIE test that I took today. Cheers to that. I fucking passed on the first time. Man, that shit was hard. It was a lot harder. I was, I think, a little bit over cocky, thinking as I was reading the prep book, I was like, oh yeah, I know that. Prep book didn't even cover half of what was on the actual test. So somehow I managed to squeak by with a pass. So that was a big relief moment. If you want to know what the heck is the SIE test and why did you take it, Tony, and what are you doing next, go watch my video from about 10 days ago, the video called What is the SIE test and why am I taking it? But I can tell you, if you can pass that test, it is the entry-level test that everybody in the financial industry takes before you go get your Series 66. If you want to be a broker or sell insurance or whatever, you have to take the SIE first, just to see if you have the aptitude and the basic knowledge. If you can't just walk in and take that test. Let me put it that way. There's no damn way. So how many people we got in the chat? We got about 100. Let's give it a couple more minutes and then I'll go through Zern's letter and then we'll get to the fun stuff. Let's say a few more hellos. G Singh, Musky Doge, Ricky, Hoops Dad, Michael Taylor, what's up? Karen, good evening. Damon Reeves got deleted by the bot. Must have been the emojis, Damon. It's just a robot. Don't blame her. Diana, good evening. Mulligan, what's up? Juicy says, I watched May today. What was she doing? The SoFi review? I saw a tweet from her. Thank you, Damrick. Thank you, Muskie. Thank you, Hoop. Urban Ape. Juicy says, I've got my Series 69. Did I miss the Adam Aaron reaction? No, we're going to do that. I'm going to go through this letter up on the screen real quick. As soon as we get a few more people in here, let's say 150, hit that like and share the live stream. And so I don't want to be repeating a bunch of stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about Robinhood or Adam Aaron's tweets, whatever y'all want to. I was able to catch up on most of that. Any stock related stuff, any tickers that happened today, I was not plugged in. I was finishing my test prep this morning. I had the test in the middle of the day at noon. Then I came home and took a nap. I was worn out. So I did a lot of cramming this weekend. And I intended to get a good night's sleep last night, but I ended up only getting 4 hours. So I came home and took a nap, and then I've been on the Discord chat with some folks for the last hour. So a long day, but a good day. Ricky, what's up? Jeff, Chris, all over the place in the house. All right, we got 150. Let's jump right into it. Like I said, this I'm going to clip this so people don't have to hear me rambling on and watch me drinking and maybe smoking. This will be clipped as a standalone 5-minute video later tonight when we're done. And then we'll get into the fun stuff. So I'm not going to be looking at comments. If you are a mod, Juicy, can I make you a mod for a minute? I don't see any other mods in here. If anybody's being stupid in the chat, just kick their ass out. It's a no mercy week, Juicy. We got a lot of emotional people in this play, a lot of people putting out bad information, and then they bring their bad info over to my channel and call me the shill. So Juicy, if you want to be a mod for 10 minutes or longer. Okay, he says he's driving. Anya, how about you? I need somebody with a badge, somebody I know from the Discord. Karen, you want to volunteer? All right, Anya says yes. Anya, again, the general rules are, people can say whatever they want in chat. They don't have to agree with me, but if they mention any other channel, the hater channels, block them permanent. Don't hide them, boot them. And if they are being rude to anybody in the chat or to the host, that would be me, boot their ass. I don't got time in my life for drama starters. If you don't, I don't know if you have the ability with what I'm giving you to boot them, but feel free to mute them for as long as possible, and I'll take care of it. All right, Karen, I'm going to give you also mod. All right. Welcome, everyone. I am Tony Denaro. In this video, we're going to do a brief overview of Judge Zern's letter to retail shareholders today and a rough overview of what the schedule is going to look like. I'm just on Chance, the lawyer's Twitter page. She posted all these pages. I posted them in the Discord earlier today. I have read through them a couple times, but I have not really prepared for this. I don't have everything highlighted. There's really not a whole lot interesting here to say other than just to catch you up on what the judge said to retail and what your next order of events are going to be for the month of May. If you want to object, again, if you want to object, I have no problem with that. That is absolutely your right, but you want to do it the right way, like we've been saying for the last 30 or 45 days. If you want to have the court hear it in terms of objecting to this settlement. So we'll go through that for you. I'm here to help everybody. I'm here for all shareholders, whether you agree with my general overview on this play or not. And let's see. So we'll go over this. We'll go over the schedule. Oh, and then I want to talk at the end about what's going to happen after June 29th and 30th. Keep in mind that I hear a lot of people saying things like AMC got, slapped down, AMC this. All of these settlements are put to the court by the plaintiff. So Allegheny came up with a settlement with AMC, but Allegheny, files the settlement. So all of these settlement are coming from Allegheny in cooperation with AMC. Let's just make sure we're being accurate when we're talking about who is filing what. At this point, AMC and Allegheny are on the same team to get a settlement done. Allegheny is representing all common stock, the class of common stock shareholders. And on behalf of them, they are recommending and filing this settlement. The wording in the settlement was done in conjunction in a settlement mediation with AMC. So with that housekeeping out of the way, this is the letter that Judge Zurn is going to issue. I think the settlement should be final and published probably tomorrow. So, or maybe May 4th. Let's just go into the letter. Let's go into the letter. May 4th is the opening brief. All of this should be filed with 8Ks from AMC and everything in the next day or so. So as of the time of me coming live, I don't think that this was a formal filed settlement, but it's real close. Judge Zern says, along with this letter, you have received notice of a proposed settlement. Presently, the court and the parties intend to hold the settlement hearing on June 29th and 30th, so about 2 months from now. And she's writing us to give us more details on the hearing and the timeline and what instructions you need to follow if you want to object. And she just starts off right here, and she closes with this also, saying that the court will not be issuing a ruling on the settlement at the hearing. So there's not going to be a bench ruling. You're not going to get an answer on her decision on June 30th. And I talked to Chance, the lawyer, and I asked her what's normal when the judge is writing up an opinion. What should I tell the folks? And she said, well, by standard, the normal writing of an opinion, they normally have 90 days. And I went, 90 days? Shit. And the court is going to be, I guess they go on recess or vacation in the month of August. I don't know what the right terminology is for that. So Chance, the lawyer, told me that more than likely you should hear something from Judge Zern in July. Maybe by the end of July, maybe the first week of July. We got a holiday in July, July 4th. So I don't really know. I can't tell you a timeline, but we are pretty certain it's not going to be June 30th. I don't think we'll have an answer on that day based on what the judge says here. So just want to prep you for that. The plaintiff, again, Allegheny, will file an opening brief in support of the settlement on May 4th. That's the next thing on the timeline. The defendants, AMC, may file a brief, but they're not required to. So Allegheny is pushing all of these filings that are going to be happening here. In addition to appearing on the docket, the brief will be posted on AMC Investor Relations page and AMC's on the website. And briefs in support of the proposed settlement typically set forth the reasons that the parties, the plaintiff and the defendant, believe the settlement should be approved. MC, thank you, brother. AMC common stockholders, this is to you guys now, who can provide adequate proof of stock ownership have the right to submit a written objection to the terms of the settlement. And I want to be, crystal clear, because look, if you object, again, that is your right, but make sure you're reading what the judge is telling you. You have, if you have proof of ownership, you have the right to submit an objection to the terms of the settlement. Previous submissions to the court will not be considered as objections to the settlement because the terms of the settlement were not previously disclosed. Kind of like what we've been saying here. Look, you had the right to send in letters in the last 30 days. And if that made you feel better and you think that got the judge's judge's attention, and it looks like it did because she made the hearing 2 days and set up a room for all of y'all to go show up, that's fine, but none of those are going to be considered at this point. You need to refile your objection. As she put in bold print here, if it was predating the notice, then it won't be considered. So you're going to need to redo it. She also recommends here at the bottom that you might wish to wait to read the briefing in support of the settlement on May 4th. That is what Allegheny is going to file on May 4th. Make sure you read that so you know what they're saying. Why do they support the settlement? There might be some key information in there that either you could use or that could change your mind. So I would recommend, and Chance the lawyer and Judge Zurn is, I think, recommending here that you probably should wait and read that. Objections must comply with the following requirements to be considered. Let's scroll down here. Page 2. Objections must be submitted to the plaintiff's counsel. So you're going to email or mail your objection to the attorneys for Allegheny. And again, Chance, the lawyer, told me that is very standard in this court, that objections to settlements are mailed to the plaintiff's attorneys. And they say very clearly here, do not send them to the court in bold print. The court will not accept any objections to the settlement. The plaintiff's counsel will take your objections, provide them to the special master for review, who will then review them and provide them to the court, or a decision like, we recommend that you take a look at this one, Judge, or we recommend that you deny this one. You don't have to include a filing fee. Objections must be received by May 31st, and they must include your real and full name. They must be accompanied by evidence of beneficial ownership of AMC stock, including your full name, copies of your brokerage statement, or a screenshot, or an authorized statement from your broker. And they must set forth a legal basis for the objection. I can't reiterate that bullet point enough. Not emotions, not opinion, not conjecture. Make sure you're determining and setting up a legal basis for the objection. Each stockholder may submit one objection, which should contain all of the grounds for the reasons that you object to the settlement. And if you have more than one objection, the special master in the court will only consider the first objection. Oh, if you submit more than one objection. So if you have multiple objections, put them in one letter. Don't send multiple letters. They will only consider the first one that you send in. Page 3, stockholders who are in support of the settlement should not feel compelled to submit letters. I never did. And the parties to the proposed settlement, the plaintiffs, in their brief on May 4th, will explain why they think the court should approve it. So Allegheny is going to already be there advocating, telling the court why this settlement should be approved. It's not necessary for anyone else to send in a letter, but she says, that being said, if you want to send in a letter of support, follow the same instructions that were on page 2. Plaintiff's counsel will transmit all of the objections to the special master and make recommendations to the court to accept it or to deny it. Do not contact the special master or send any materials directly to the special master. Next up on the agenda. So all of that has to be received at the plaintiff's attorney by May 31st. You got 30 days. Wait and read the brief from the plaintiffs first. Then, once all of that's done, the plaintiffs and the defendants may file briefs responding to any and all objections by June 7th. So they will review all of the objections that get run up the flagpole by the special master. They'll have a week to file their answer to that. and those will be posted to the docket. Any responsive briefs will be posted on the court docket and on AMC's investor relations page. Depending on the number of slow down, Tony. Depending on the number of objections, the special master will file a report and recommendations no later than June 21st. And that report will also be posted on the docket and AMC investors relations page. Any AMC stockholder who timely objected consistent with the instructions that we just went over, who disagrees with the special master's report, like if they denied your objection, may file an exception to that report, kind of like Mr. Iacono did. And that has to be in by June 28th. Exceptions to the special master's report should be filed with the court. Now we're a little twist here. Not sent to the plaintiff's counsel. So wait and see if you filed an objection, if they approved it or denied it, what the special master recommended. If you don't like what the special master said, then go get the form from the court for filing an exception, and you send that to the court. For instructions on how to do that, please refer to the Register and Chancery's April 14th letter. If you do not follow these instructions, your correspondence will not be considered. On June 29th and June 30th, the court will hear from parties being Allegheny and AMC, I presume, and any objectors who wish to supplement their written objections with a oral presentation. So if you want to go in person to the court in Delaware, you can show up to object. If you followed, you have to have submitted a written objection, first of all. This is for people who wish to supplement their written objections with an oral presentation. The court will also, this is going to be interesting, I guess we're going to be live for 2 days. The court will provide public access to the hearing with an overflow courtroom with a video feed and a listen-in telephone line. That's pretty cool. We'll get to hear everybody on the telephone line. I'm guessing I won't be able to broadcast the audio, but if it's available on a phone line, I'll be live and giving you some blow by blow and some reaction to what's going on. If you get there late and the overflow room fills up, I don't know how many people it will hold. I'll see if Chance can let me know that. Anyone unable to obtain a seat must leave the courthouse. Get there early, I guess. The court will file the dial-in information for the telephone line on the docket before the hearing. You do not need to appear in person for your written objection to receive full consideration by the special master. Because counsel to the parties to the settlement will be advocating for approval of the settlement, it's not a good use of time of the court to let people that are in support speak. So if you're in support, I'd say don't bother showing up because you're not going to be allowed to talk. Only stockholders who object may supplement their written objections in person. If you're in the overflow room, you'll be brought in one at a time to voice your oral presentation of your objection. And finally, page 5. Just a reminder, the court will not be doing a bench ruling on the 30th. She will provide a written opinion that will be filed on the docket and on the court's website. Again, if you're just joining in, we don't know the exact timeline, but kind of the rough expectation right now is sometime in July. No guarantees. Could be 90 days. With that is going to wrap up this part of this video, the overview of the judge's letter to retail. Thank you for tuning in. I am Tony Denaro. Drop me a comment down below if you have any questions, and I will see you on the next video. Cut. Now, moving into the fun part. Now we get to do Q&A. Bring your chats up. So that little bit that we just did is going to be cut to a separate video if you're just joining in. For anyone who doesn't want to watch 2 hours of me blathering, drinking, and smoking. And now I'm going to take a look at your comments. Anya, Karen, did you have to boot anybody? And Stephen, you are welcome to join us if you're watching in, so we want to hear Stephen's follow up on what Adam Aaron said in answer to his questions. Sufyan says, Tony, congrats on passing the exam today. I almost cried, Sufyan. I was like, I had a moment of emotion. I told Scarlett, I was like, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to do a couple videos on the SIE, not necessarily for you guys. If you want to watch it, that's fine. But I think it'll be good content for, who knows, tens of thousands of other people who are taking that test every week. And that content will always be out there for them, and I'll always be here for them. But I went into the testing center. I mean, it's pretty strict to take a FINRA test. They pat you down. You can't wear or bring anything. Like literally, the only thing you're allowed to bring in is your ID. If you had glasses, they would inspect them for cameras. They metal detect you. They wand you. They pat you down. It's pretty serious shit. And then they take you in a room. You get no pencil, no pen, no calculator, but they give you a little plastic scratch pad and a wipe off Sharpie if you need to take any notes or solve any math. I didn't have to. And they give you a basic calculator. The test is 75 questions. You have an hour and 45 minutes. And there's 10 fake questions on there. I call them fake. You don't know which ones aren't being graded. You have an hour and 45 minutes. So I did a bunch of practice exams, 4 to be exact, this weekend. And I knocked all of them out in 30 minutes. And I passed all of them. So I felt pretty good going in to today's test. But I mean, I barely passed them. Like reading the prep book for the SIE is not sufficient. I was looking at that damn prep book and I thought I was going to be ready because, oh yeah, basic market function, how do orders work, how do options work, how do bonds work. Had to learn a little bit of stuff about regulatory and compliance. I don't do a lot of bond work, but I learned all that basic shit 30 years ago. It's tough to recall stuff that you haven't used in 30 years. I don't trade bonds. Calculating current yield, all of that stuff. I know it, but I just don't use it on a regular. And then there was all sorts of stuff on the differences between all the different retirement plans, Roth 401ks, Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, the student savings, 529s. Like, that's just not stuff I deal with on a daily basis. Anything related to do with any regulatory agency or trading, yeah, that was easy. But the problem was, even when you read the book and got a rough overview, the questions that they asked, I'm not kidding you guys, half the questions they asked were not in the damn book. Like, you either know it or you don't. Clearly some of the stuff came from SEC and FINRA regulations, but it would have been nice if they had a list of them. I mean, there's a list of 50 regulations on FINRA's website that all the test materials pulled from. But have you ever gone and looked up a FINRA regulation? It's so convoluted, and there's 10 pages of definitions, and then there's amendments, and it's just not easy. And like the one test I took had 4 questions on what level of approvals need to happen before a mutual fund can do an advertisement to the public. That wasn't covered anywhere. And there's 4 damn questions on it. That kind of shit makes me nervous when I go in to take the test. Like, I didn't go in and try and memorize 50 regulations. It just was, there's no good resource to direct you to it. And I think that the prep books should do a better job on that. Anyways, getting back to my emotional reaction, when I finished those 85 questions, my prep test, I did every single one of them in 30 to 31 minutes and passed barely. And so I felt okay, but I'm not a nervous test taker, but there was so much shit on this test that I had to wing it just based on gut feel and what I've learned over the last 30 years and what I've studied over the last couple of weeks that I didn't know if I was going to get a pass. And you hit that button on the computer that says you're done, and then it's like, and then it just pops up pass. I was like, oh, almost wanted to cry. Almost wanted to cry. All right, enough of that. I'll talk more about that on another video. Yeah, the SIE, Ellie. You do not need to be a FINRA sponsored. You don't need to be sponsored by a broker to take the SIE. Anyone can take it. There's even a free test. If you guys want to see what I went through, there's a free test on FINRA's website. Just go look up SIE, see how you do. Go try it out. You'll see the level of questions that I had to deal with. But the next test, like if you want to become licensed to sell insurance or a stockbroker or anything in the financial world, there's a whole host of other tests that you need to take. You do need to be hired by a FINRA sponsored firm to go take the rest. Any of y'all could go take the SIE, but I'll just say it's not as easy as I thought it would be. Next up for me, I'm going to order the books for prep for the CFA, the Chartered Financial Analyst. That you don't need to be sponsored by a FINRA firm. It's kind of like a fancy certified financial planner, but a CFA deals more with what I do here with you guys, which is, a certified financial planner is someone who helps people with budgets and which mutual fund should we get you in. CFA is more doing analysis of stocks and companies more at an institutional level. Kind of like the breakdowns I give you guys. And I don't plan on going to work for any institution. It's just to improve my own knowledge and to improve the content that I provide here, to shut up all the little bitch ass trolls out there. And I guess, it could be a backup if I ever needed one. I've managed to survive the last 20 years not working for anybody, but if I ever needed to, it's always there, right? The CFA is probably the hardest designation to get in all the financial planning world. And it's about a 2-year, I'll budget 2 years, 18 months if I'm lucky to take the 3 exams for that. So that's what's up next. It's 4 to 6 months of studying for each exam. Stephen, let me put my ears on. I don't have my headset on. And no, I still will not be able to give you financial advice. I can give you my read on a company, but I can't tell you to buy or sell stuff. Oh, by the way, Steven says he's going to get some water. Okay, and Mediocre wants to join us. Mediocre, I will send you an invite, but let me let Steven do his pitch first, and then we'll bring Mediocre on. My son graduated his sophomore year today at UT Austin. He's in the business school. He's a finance major. He told me, I asked him, have you picked a major yet? Yeah, he said finance. He picked his major and he's going to do, what did he say? What did he tell me? He's going to go for the integrated master's in professional accounting. So I guess he's getting his master's in accounting right after his bachelor's in bachelor's in finance. So I'm proud of him, very proud of him. And he says he has an interview for an internship with Barclays in New York next week. So chip off the old block, and congrats to him for his successfully finishing his sophomore year, and he is knocking it out. Good grades. And I said, why accounting? Why your master's in accounting? Because I like accounting, but I could not be a CPA. And he said, I'm just really good at it, Dad. And I don't want to be an accountant, but with a master's in accounting, I can do anything in the financial industry. And I think that's probably correct. All right. While we're waiting for Steven, let me get an invite out to Mediocre. Actually, I'm going to keep on reading your comments, and then I will, and then when Steven starts talking, I'll send Mediocre the invite. Groundhog Eater says, Fidelity will not take my calls off autofill unless I call them when my strike price is close. What do you have? Is it the AMC one?
Groundhog? Hey, Tony.
What's up? What's up, Steven? Can you hear me? I heard you. Gamrick says we call them bean counters in the South. Yeah. I said, well, whenever you get that master's in accounting, you'll be my number one go-to guy. Sorry, Sufyan is really good, but now I have two good CPAs to bounce stuff off of. I'm not an accountant. I know just enough to look at a company and tell if it's in a shambles for an investment or not.
How are you, Tony? Congratulations, for your tests and your son doing that, and I'm really proud of you. I think it's awesome that you're taking it to the next level.
I am really, really happy today. You probably can't see it because I'm trying not to just like overflow beaming on the camera when we got so much other, stuff going on right now. But yeah, it was a good day. Tell us about Las Vegas, Steven. And while you're talking, I'm going to send Mediocre an invite. I just got to find out where the invite button is. Oh, here we go.
Sure. Okay, so it was really fun. I guess I could start with, I arrived. I was shocked at the amount of security Adam Aaron had. You had to walk through metal detectors. There was tons of police there, tons of protection for him there. You had to walk through like several detectors, and it was pretty neat. When we got into the movie theater, he gave about a 25 to 30 minute speech. I uploaded 17 or 18 minutes of that to my channel. Were you able to watch that video, Tony?
I did. I watched it twice.
Oh, wow. Really? Yeah. So he said a lot of good things in that video, if you guys wanted to watch that. And then I also, after the movie, followed up with some lighthearted comments and stuff. So I wanted to share that with you guys tonight.
First of all, that is a sad commentary on the state of people's mental health, although I do understand why some people feel that way. But the fact that Adam Aaron and other people, even myself, get threats is it's pretty sad. You had to go through a metal detector. And did he have a bulletproof vest on?
No, but yeah, he was well protected, and so were everyone else. It wasn't just Adam that was there, Tony. A lot of the executives were with him. I don't know their names, but I know they were executives. They were just standing with him.
Mediocre, I see you in the back room. As soon as we get Steven, his 5 minutes of fame to talk about his questions, I'll bring you in, and Stephen, you can hang out if you want to, and go back and forth with mediocre too.
Okay, so I got about 6 points, some of which you already know, Tony, but
I knew the questions, but I don't know the answers.
So I actually ended up not asking him those questions, but I have different information.
Okay.
Um,
lay it on us.
So first things first, he said he kept doubling down on Highcroft. He said within 3 years, we're going to make a lot of money. And he didn't clarify on that. You know, I'm not a Highcroft investor myself, but for the people in the chat, I don't know what it is, but Adam Aaron kept talking about how he's going to make a lot of money. Take it for what it is, right?
Look, can I interject something
Sure.
real quick about Highcroft? So there was an update on Highcroft today. I saw from Diane Garrett. They got the first RC drill rig on the property now for phase 2. They were bringing 2 new rigs in. The first rig is now on property. The core drilling rig, which is slower and can drill deeper. You got reverse circulation drilling, which just brings up a bunch of dirt. And then the core drill rig brings up those core samples, the ones that are like yay big diameter. That will be on the property in June. So probably a lot of people think that for all this year, Highcroft's been drilling. They've been waiting for the drill rigs, the new ones. We got one. Second one will be here in June, and then phase 2 really kicks off. So I don't know a timeline other than saying, you should be very patient. A RC drill rig can drill about 200 to 300 meters a day, and a core drill rig can drill about 100 to 150 meters a day. And they've got 5,000 and 3,000 meters they're planning on drilling outside, the core resource. So this is expanding the exploration. They're hoping to find some really good stuff and be able to justify getting back into production. But nice. Adam Aaron was telling you, Stephen, 2-3 years, because they got to do all that drilling. Then they got to get together with independent consultants and come up with, all right, do we have good shit here? Can we make a plan that's financially viable?
He was saying 3 years. 3 years is what he's looking at.
And then they have to build the milling plant, right? Because all the ore that's under the ground is going to need equipment they don't have to process it. It's not just going to get dropped on a leach pad. So all of y'all that are in Highcroft, I know you've been told a lot of stuff. If you haven't tuned into this channel or any of my 6 videos on Highcroft over the last year, where I've been saying, be patient, wait to get in on a good price. You still got time to be patient and get in on a good price. Okay.
So switching gears a little bit, when he was asked about, and some of this, I didn't ask him directly. I just overheard, from other shareholders and his answers. I'm just going to relay this information. So on the topic of the authorized shares, he specifically stated that he is not interested in selling majority of the authorized shares in 2023. It's just
the 440 million or 410 million.
Yeah, he's looking at just getting us to 2024 or the next profitable quarter is what he said. And regarding the reverse split, he referred to it as, I just want to get us away from what he called the embarrassing price of $3 to $4, $5. That's his quote, what he said, reverse split to avoid that price. And then just selling enough to get us to the next profitable quarter.
Can I bounce some ideas off of you on that?
Yeah.
Because when I hear you say that he said that, my immediate reaction is, I don't know if I believe that. I hope he's telling the truth. I would prefer less dilution, obviously, than 400 million on day one, because the less we know he needs to raise money, and we'll find out more about that on Friday when they release the earnings. You'll find out if I'm anywhere close to my estimate on how much money AMC is going to lose for Q1. I see people posting all the time, oh, we definitely made a profit. Like I don't know. When I looked at the financials of Q1 compared to the box office of Q1 compared to Q4, I don't know how we get there. I would love love for him to prove me wrong, AMC to prove me wrong. I'm just trying to be realistic for you. Like, don't get your hopes up. It's better to be surprised than disappointed.
Yep. Okay.
But hang on, because I want to so the dilution. I hope he does less, Stephen. I hope he does. I hope he does just enough to get us into 2024. But there was some talk about paying off debt on the attorney's phone call last week. So I don't really know what to believe. And he also said he wasn't going to be converting ape anytime soon. So this gets back to what I say, like, don't trust anybody. I think, that's what he's saying, and we have to trust it. But I've seen him finesse things. Oh, well, things change, So I'm glad he told you that. I'm hopeful that he's being 100% upfront.
Yeah, he's not going to give numbers, of course, but it's insinuated that I would say less than half of what's authorized.
All right.
Going on to the next one, this is for the fundamental people, I guess, the long-term holders. Adam referred to AMC's recovery as the 5-year detour. He expects this company to be fully recovered by 2025 to the pre-pandemic level. He also believes that once we cross the 11 billion threshold, we'll likely stay there for multiple years on end. So, Tony, you know what that means. That means you're generating a profit.
Yep.
In 2025.
I really wish you would have said 2024, but I think he's being even more conservative than I am. Like, I don't think this year is going to be a profitable year. I'm hopeful that 2024 will be at least, 75% of the quarters profitable. But, a lot of it is going to depend on the movie theaters. I think what Adam is looking at, Stephen, when he told you that, is he's not quite sure if Hollywood will be back up 100% cranking out, 120, 130, 140 wide releases until 2025. So let's just hope. I'm just going to keep on being hopeful that they put out some really bangers in 2024. So even if we're not at the pre-pandemic wide release level, that maybe they put out enough good movies to get us over 11, 12 billion domestic box office.
Right. He seems to be making his decisions regarding the dilution based on the box office, like how big it is, or if it's small, he'll sell more.
Perfectly logical. Like that's how I would do it.
Next point. So when he went to CinemaCon, I guess he was previewed to seeing Indiana Jones, Mermaid, many others. He believes that they'll all exceed expectations, and this kind of shocked me. He said that he could see possibly a $10 billion box office this year. And that made my head spin because, we've talked about this, off camera. I'm on the 9 billion boat, but when he said 10 was possible, I don't see, this is my opinion now. He met with the CEOs of Paramount and all those people there. He was with actors. He said he was with Vin Diesel and Denzel. He was with a ton of people there. I don't know if there's inside information there, but there's something there that makes him feel like a $10 billion box office is not out of the cards.
I'm going to tell you, when I did my projection for the rest of this year, if you guys haven't seen that video, I did a quarterly earnings per share and profit loss projection for every quarter this year based on 9 billion. I'm going to be honest, Stephen, I felt a little bit nervous even putting out something that optimistic.
Yep.
To hear Adam say that he sees the potential for 10 billion. Like, I was looking, when I put out my video, a lot of people commented, a lot said, yeah, that's right in line with what I was thinking. And several said, you're underestimating some of these movies, Tony. And maybe I am. Even if Adam told you 10 billion is possible, be still my beating heart.
Yep. And for me, just based on what I know about the movies, that insinuates that Little Mermaid's a $1 billion film. Indiana Jones would have to dramatically overperform. You do have Spider-Man, which we already know is a moneymaker, and Fast and the Furious. And then Mission Impossible would obviously have to be a $1 billion film.
Yeah, we need multiple movies to do over $1 billion domestic.
Theoretically,
10 billion.
Yeah, it's not impossible, but it was shocking for me to hear him say that, because then you're insinuating a much different AMC, right, in 2023 than what I'm expecting. So, I got 2 more points. So I talked to you about this a little bit, Tony, the EBITDA. So every time Adam was questioned about like net income, anything with fundamentals, he kept referring to EBITDA exceeding 46 million or higher over the next couple of years. Based on what I overheard, he believes that we're easily going to make our way to the 800 million EBITDA. I believe that, just like I said, I got the impression that he is determined to get AMC to 800 million before he's obviously retires, So,
I've seen, Steven, some YouTubers, and I'm not going to call them out because I know they're trying to buoy optimism, and I appreciate that, because like someone like me, where I just look at the GAAP financials, there's generally accepted accounting procedures. The GAAP financial statements are what is filed with the SEC, and then AMC has adjusted earnings, which is often what you get in a press release. Adjusted earnings factors out a lot of things. And I look at both, but I just to be consistent, I always look at the SEC filings. Adjusted earnings per share is always going to typically be a little more favorable. So you're going to, every quarter, you'll see 2 different numbers. Like, oh, we were negative 13 cents when you go to look at the SEC, it says negative 22. Why the difference? It's all on interpretation. Companies have wide discretion on how they adjust earnings. But that's why I don't use it, because like if Cinemark adjusts their earnings, they might adjust them different than AMC. So I just go by the SEC filings. EBITDA focuses more on your core operations. Like, you showed so many movies. What was your net profit just from movies minus your operating expenses to show those movies and sell food? So it lets you know on your core business, are you generating a profit before taxes and depreciation and amortization and interest payments, which, those could still be a drag. You could have positive EBITDA and still lose money for the quarter. So it is definitely something to focus on, Adam Aaron, and he should. We need to get positive operating, right? We got all these screens, all these theaters that remain open. We need enough movies to fill them up to turn a profit. And AMC is not just going to shut down theaters. They'll let some stay open and lose money for a while. That's what's been happening for 2 years, right, Steven?
yep.
The theaters are open and losing money so that people fucking come to the theater. You can't just shut things down. So we're so big, the company's so big, they got to lose money until Hollywood catches up. And positive EBITDA is our first real heads up that we're getting there.
Right.
So that's a good goal for him to focus on.
Yep, and 46 million was the 2022 number. I don't know what he claimed, that he knew the number for 2023 already. Like, I guess Sean Goodman told him, but he said it's against the law for him to tell us. So
it is. Yep.
Yeah, he didn't clarify there. So
for Q1, you mean?
Yeah.
They know it for sure. They know it.
Yeah, and he knows the estimations for the next year and the next year. So I got one more thing for you. I talked to him about the thing you wanted me to ask him about popcorn.
About the profit margin?
Yep.
All right. This is a drum roll.
Yeah.
I want to know. I have a tab in my spreadsheet to add into our profits, to add into our earnings per share. What would be the contribution from retail popcorn at Walmart? If we could make some assumptions about units sold, we need to also know the profit margin per bag. So that was my one favor to Steven. Ask Adam Aaron. Some people are thinking it's 80% profit per bag. Like on a $4 bag, we're making $3.20 profit. That seems very unrealistic to me. What did he say, Steven?
All right. I know you've been ready. I know you're ready. Okay, so currently for anyone who's listening, there's a 6-month exclusive deal with Walmart. They started with 550 stores or something like that. Now they're going to 2,600 stores. So I asked him, I was like, how much, is the profit margin per bag? I said, the recommendation, Tony, that you were talking about, is it $1 per bag?
I said 25% to
Yeah.
30%, which would be about $1 to $1.20 a bag.
Yeah, because they're like $4, right? Each.
Right.
So when I said, are they about $1 a bag? And he said, he didn't give me a yes or no. He said about that. His words were about that. So I take that as you're damn close. But then he followed up with saying, after the 6 months is done with Walmart, he's going to follow up with grocery stores and convenience stores, and the profits will be higher than that, according to what he was saying, up to 8% higher.
Yeah, because convenience stores will mark it up even higher, and he probably
so
gets a little bit better profit. He
you're
charges
looking
them
at
a little bit
possibly
more.
a third, I think, for the convenience stores and the grocery.
So they did a 6-month exclusive with Walmart. What are there, like 5,000 Walmart stores, and we're going to be in 2,600 of them, which I don't understand. Why not all of them? I think there's like 5,000 Walmart stores. Can someone fact check me on that? How many Walmarts are in the U.S.? 2,600 Walmart stores, and the thing that we're still missing, Stephen, is what is the volume of production that they can crank out and get into Walmarts every week. So now we know the profit margin is roughly $1 a bag, which is right about what I thought it would be when you factor in all the manufacturing costs, shipping, Walmart's cut, yada, yada, yada. 25% is about in the ballpark. It's not like 80% if AMC was selling a bucket of popped corn in the theater. That's a different model than a grocery store shelf item. So now we need to hone in on what is going to be, how many bags can they crank out per week off the manufacturing line? We know Walmart's selling
off the shelves.
Walmart's selling every unit. So how many can they crank out? Then I can fill out my damn spreadsheet.
Well, Tony, that's it from me. I mean, I had a great time. I got a picture with him. He signed my chess clock. He thought that was very funny that I brought a chess clock,
Give a little pitch for your Discord and your chess academy.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, for most people in the chat who know me, or maybe you don't, I'm a professional chess coach, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. I love AMC and the movie theater experience. That's how I got here. But I also teach chess professionally, and I have a little community of people in what's called a Red Lion Chess Academy. If any of you guys are interested in playing chess, or you want to learn the game, or you're interested in, just go to my YouTube channel, Just Another Ape, and just comment below, and I'll get in touch with you.
And you have a Discord where you also you teach youngsters how to play chess, but you also have the adult group in the Discord, right?
That's correct. Yes. So if you guys want to check out my website, it's redlionchessacademy.com, or
Steven's,
just like I said,
Steven's a good guy to know, guys, that like if you can convince him you're a legit enough person, like not one of the he's got a really good Discord for the chess and for stock talk also. I don't think you charge anything, Steven, but you're very exclusive about who you let in, right? Or who you keep.
Yeah, it's a private only Discord,
But with the other good thing about Steven is he is I'm going to say a market maker for sports betting industry. So I like his experience and the angle he brings to just our whole understanding of how we are manipulated and how the market makers track what we do and adjust the game based on what we're doing. So I like having him on here, and we have those chats from time to time. And go give him a follow over at Just Another Ape.
I appreciate
on
that,
YouTube.
Joe. Thank you. Hi, Mediocre. How are you doing?
Mediocre, what is up, amigo?
What's up, guys? Congratulations on your test, Tony.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a cheers. Thank you, just from you, Mediocre.
Perfect. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, Steven, I like it because what you were talking about because it was a lot of what was said in Boston, which was nice. That at least he's being consistent. Speaking of Tony,
What did he say in Boston about the 10 billion box office or what?
yeah, he said that. Yeah, that's what he was talking about because right after Stephen and I were talking about it, and Stephen was like, "No way!" And I'm like, "I'm telling you, he said it." Actually, it's in the video I sent you. It's in that video.
I don't think you sent me. Oh yeah, you did after your Boston trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in that.
Okay.
I never did anything with that video.
Yeah, I was having fun making videos for, especially when the audio is bad and like putting the text on there for people, but it's gotten so vitriolic now, so hateful against Adam Aaron. I'm like, if I put out a video of Adam Aaron saying something, I get 5,000 trolls. Adam Aaron's a crook. Adam Aaron needs to go to jail. I mean, he is the CEO of the company that you're invested in. So if you don't want to know what he says, don't blame me. I'm trying to provide a service, not make people mad. But
Oh,
it is what it is.
I want to know what he has to say. I want to know if I need to pull my money out or to
Exactly.
invest in. So I have a vested interest in what he says or what the company does. So
also, if we don't know what he's saying, how do we hold him accountable? Right. I think you should take them for their word for whatever they say, both in public. They are very restricted on what they can and can't say. So if they're saying something in public, that's something you should pay attention to, in addition to any filings that the company makes for any company. But don't read too much into tweets. Don't decode things.
Tony, I forgot one thing.
Yeah. What's up?
So, Juicy made a comment earlier. I guess he said he had a crush on Cat Stryker. So I actually sat right next to her and Adam in the entire movie, and I talked to her a little bit.
Juicy.
And I told her, I was like, "Hey, like, I really appreciate what you're doing. You're positive about the stock," and I just kind of gave her a lot of like positive feedback because
you gave her a positive affirmation.
Yeah, I mean, because like you said, Tony, there's so much going on, especially on Twitter. So I felt like I had to be like, hey, keep fighting the good fight, kind of thing.
Yeah, she's very good at remaining positive despite all the attacks and stuff that she gets. So I appreciate her for that also.
Yeah, she's the one who does the trucks, I believe, right? The billboards, the moving billboards.
Yep. One.
Yeah.
Kevin says you are the middleman between your DD and our CEO. Yeah, I understand, guys. A lot of you don't know how or don't want to read financial statements. And I kind of view my role, like I said a week or two ago, I'm trying to remain as unattached as I can emotionally from the information I'm giving you and just tell you what the information says, what the filings say, what the financial statements say. Whether you like it or not is not really my concern. But I think it's important that you have someone explaining to you what they say and what to expect based on that. It's not always gonna. I make both sides of the aisle angry on a regular basis. I get called out by the trolls, the Adam Aaron haters, and I get called out by the people that are in love with Adam Aaron. I try and remain neutral. I have no signed T-shirt by Adam Aaron. I've never talked to him other than that couple minutes in Dallas, just like many of you. But I understand his mission as a CEO, what he's trying to accomplish. And that is all I'm trying to convey.
I mean, it's been getting hot lately. I mean, it really has. People they're losing it, Tony.
I know, because I mean, a lot of people are focused on a theory that they've deeply held and believed for 2 years with no real evidence. I mean, if I had the tangible, hard evidence, I understand everything that we've all been in this play for 2 years, but I just don't talk about it because I don't have, other than court cases or SEC fines from 10 years ago, where someone got fined for synthetic shares or whatever. I don't have tangible evidence to show you, or I fucking would, but I got to be careful what I talk about. I got to try and stick to as factual information as I can, because you don't want to be that guy who's creating theories, of how you can get to a 500,000 price target. Those people are the ones that ultimately I think are going to be held accountable and liable in this play. The ones who are pushing things, not just on AMC, but on every fucking stock. Things that they can't back up based on anything. That is what gets people in trouble. Not just them, but the people that buy in because of those theories. Like, it's fine to have theories. It's fine to have hope. It's fine to want a short squeeze on those theories. I'm right there with you. But at the end of the day, we can't ignore the foundation, the financials, the fundamentals, the filings, the 4 Fs. How does that strike you? Mediocre. Are we still live? Mediocre.
He froze.
He froze. All right. Well, at least you're still here.
Yep, he froze.
Angelina, what's up? David Cito, what's up? Nuck says, Tony, now it's Mullen. I know Mullen. I'm seeing it. All these people that are hating Adam Aaron, all of a sudden are pushing Mullen. It seems.
Really?
Yes. Stephen, if you go to most of the non-DD channels that hate Adam Aaron, many of them, at least 75%, are pushing Mullen, a company which has no revenue, losing tens or hundreds of millions of dollars per quarter. Losing money is one thing, but losing money on top of no revenue is something else. But the price is cheap, Tony. Yeah, it's cheap for a reason, because the CEO's going to be diluting that company to $5 billion just to stay liquid until they get into production. At least he did put out an announcement that they're going to, it was production of the Mullen 5 at the end of 2024. Now I saw an official communication that it's mid 2024. So that is slightly bullish. We got the Lawrence Harge thing, but that is a complete gamble right now, Mullen. And I own some at 10 cents and a couple more shares at 25. But I understand when I bought it, I did not buy it because I like the company or I believe in the CEO. I bought just enough that it went to zero, which I expect it will. I'd be okay with it. But if retail runs it up on some good news, I know I can make some money. That is the only reason I'm in Mullen. It's an absolute train wreck until they post meaningful revenues. It's not just profits. I'm not even asking for profits, Mullen. Like, post up some money, make some damn money.
What's the main reason, Tony, that people want to buy Mullen right now?
Because they're bag holding it at $18 or $10 or $5 or $2. And now it's 7 cents. So on the face of it, that seems like a really good price, right, Stephen? Why wouldn't you buy it 7 cents if you bought it $10 a year ago?
I think you just got to ask yourself, like, how did we get here,
Yes, it's all right there in the financial statements and all the dilution filings. It's very clear why they're at 7 cents. It's an absolute train wreck.
And that's for any stock. You have to ask yourself, how did you get here? Like, I know how I got here with AMC. We had a bad year in 2022. We didn't have the movie titles, like, no matter what investment it is, right? You have to be honest with yourself.
At least with AMC, we can see that we're progressing up towards profitability. Mullen has no revenue.
Are they going to reverse split?
Better, you guys?
Huh? Yeah, we can hear you now. Mullen is starting to sell some vans. I think their profit margin on those is pretty thin, but we'll find out on the next quarterly earnings. And then right now, a lot of people are asking me, when are you going to do the next update on Mullen? I don't know, because there's so much writing right now on Lawrence Harge and his black box. Like, if that guy is legit, Mullen could pop off really, really good. But I spent all weekend, Stephen and Mediocre, trying to use my electronics and engineering background to figure out what the fuck was in his black box. And I thought I thought I had it figured out for a second. Graphene superconductors, supercapacitors. But as I spent the weekend looking into that, kind of bleeding edge technology and looking at the size of his black box, 4 by 6 inches, there's no way that you can get enough supercapacitor in a box that size to have any meaningful results of what he's talking about. So it's got to be something else. And he keeps on talking about, oh, we're conditioning the battery when it's not plugged in. I haven't figured it out. So I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Mr. Harge.
I mean, you just got to be careful. If a company's not making money, the price is expected to decline. It doesn't matter what stock it is, right? Like out of all the stocks I have in my portfolio, I only have 2 that don't make money. That's AMC and that's ChargePoint. Everything else is turning a profit, right? So like if they're turning a profit, it's always expected to rise. I know it sounds simple, but it's just how the market operates.
Mullen could end up being a good play if they can survive until they can start churning out some cars. But even if you look like at a Lucid, Rivian, Polestar, they are all making vehicles and they're all still losing money. So I think if anything, Mullen's going to end up getting bought out, and it might be if you got in cheap enough at 7 cents, or even less after the reverse split, which I think I'm going to say it today. I think they're going to reverse split in May. Oh, David said he's not going to reverse for 180 days. Now, I'm pretty sure it's going to be in May. As long as they have no revenue, you can expect the downtrend in Mullen to continue down after the reverse split. That would be my guess.
That first run, Tony, was unbelievable for Mullen.
Yeah, that's when Lou and everybody was hyping it.
Yeah,
and a lot of EV companies got hyped back in 2021.
Yeah, it was the way to go. EVs were going to be the future.
And we had the Biden administration pushing for EVs. I mean, I get the whole enthusiasm. Even I got swept up in it a little bit, but the reality of no earnings or losses, no profits has finally caught up. Like we say in the short term, stocks are a voting machine, but in the long term, they're a weighing machine. You can vote a price up, but ultimately it balances out and the reality sinks in. That's where we're at on Mullen right now.
I mean, look at Tesla. They're dropping their prices on their vehicles. Why are they doing that? They're doing that because they don't want to lose their market share, right?
Yep. And that's going to put pressure on everybody else. Exactly.
That's exactly where I was going, right? So Mullen's going to get pressure. Lucid's going to get pressure. Ford's going to get pressure. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of it. There's a battle going on in the car industry. I am going to repeat what I've been saying for 2 years. If we look ahead a couple of years, probably 70% of the companies we're playing right now will not exist. They'll either be bankrupt, the EV companies, they'll be bankrupt or bought out. That's my guess. But I try not to listen to the noise on Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff. I just ignore all that stuff. I just deal with my Discord, and Steven and I have conversations and whatever, but I know there's a lot of people who push stocks, and I don't even look at them half the time because I know exactly what's going on,
Mediocre. Would you buy Mullen at a penny?
No. Why you gotta do this? We know we're live.
Oh man, I love you guys.
I bought a little bit of throwaway money at 10 cents, and if it dropped to a penny, I'd buy a little more, Steven, because at that cheap, any bit of Lawrence Harge good news could run it up to 20 cents. And if you could buy it for a penny and sell it for 20 cents, that's not a bad. But you don't want to put $50,000 in it, because I mean it literally is a coin toss whether it goes to 20 cents or zero.
I'll show my ape age right now. Do you remember the reason why Mullen ran up from $1 to 20 when Trey was pumping it?
No.
I remember like it was yesterday. So back in the day, Trey, he was all about Mullen, and him and a few others exposed the ape community to what's called short exempt volume. And at the time, Mullen, that was the FOMO that occurred. So they were telling everybody, oh, there's tons and tons of short exempt volume. And people bought it up. They thought that
They still talk about it to this day.
They thought that was the new MOAS. That was going to be the one that was going to replace AMC. And it ran up from what, $1 to 20?
Yeah.
Like on that. So
I'm not a big believer. I have a video on short exempt or short volume. You guys can go look that up. And we had a guest who specializes in that. There are times where you need to pay attention to it, but it's not the end all be all.
right.
You shouldn't be buying just on that.
Buying in. People really dug that stuff at that time.
They still do. I mean, there's Twitter and YouTube personalities who every play they recommend is based on short volume or short exempt volume. That is a dangerous game.
Yep.
Like you should not believe that stuff. It's a coin toss.
I gotta be honest with you.
Someone said, will earnings be good for AMC? Supra's, go check my 2 videos out that I did last week. One for Q1 estimate, and then I have a full year estimate by quarter. And then then you guys can all hold me accountable. You can say good job or ha ha, you fucked up.
I've been staying in cash, Tony, and not doing too many trades. I've been doing very few trades, 1 or 2 trades a week, make a little bit of money, and that's it. I'm not.
I've been doing the same, mediocre. My trading volume is way down because of the unpredictability of the market, the banking crisis. Like I want to have cash on the side right now in case we have a real market crash that I can get some good shit, profitable companies cheap.
Stagflation or depression, Tony? Which one are you thinking?
I'm more worried about depression than inflation right now. Or a banking crisis, taking us into a market crash.
Yeah.
I think we're coming up to the top on inflation.
I don't know. They ain't looking good.
Not financial advice. That's just my guess. What do I like about ChargePoint? Stephen, I'll let you talk about what you like about it. I did a video on ChargePoint, a deep dive. So go watch that one for my thoughts.
A couple, just 30 seconds. They have 80%, last time I did DD on it, of the charging stations in the United States.
That's correct.
They have incredible amount of charging stations. They're just kind of like the first mover. They're kind of like the Bitcoin for electric charging stations. And it's compatible with multiple different types of cars, not just Tesla or Lucid. It's a very universal charger, and they have a lot of creative ways to make money. If you go look at their, if you go to their Investor Connect website, it shows like how the company makes money, and it's not just from charging stations. They have ways where they can lease out their products or connect them to like apartment complexes, and just a lot of creative ways. And
the subscription plan.
Yep. There's a lot to it. But my thing is this, if EV at all survives, ChargePoint inevitably will survive.
That's the gamble, right? EVs, if you look at the charts I put in my ChargePoint video, if you look at the curve of EV adoption over the next 5 years, and ChargePoint is able to grow with that, and we know the infrastructure for charging stations is going to need to grow, they can become profitable. Right now, the gamble is, how do you get in at the best price on ChargePoint? Because they're losing money. So that's why I can't tell you, buy ChargePoint today or wait a couple months or wait a year. That's the gamble, right? I'm easing into it, and if I'm aware it could go down, and then I'll add in a little bit more if it goes down, but it's still a risky play for the short term because they're losing money. But I think we all believe, Stephen, I don't know about you, I believe EVs are the future, and that the curve of EV adoption will go up and ChargePoint's growth.
Tony and Stephen.
Yeah. Go ahead, mediocre.
Is his mic messing up?
I'm gonna take off. We got storms coming through here. My internet's all messed up.
All right. Thanks for popping
Yeah.
in.
So I'm gonna take off and say goodnight to everybody. Thank you for having me on the show, Tony.
Let's get you on later this week for
All right.
a better talk when you're not having internet
Good night.
issues. Good night.
See you, man. Tony, you're talking about ChargePoint?
Yeah.
I mean, look, that's another 5-year hold, right? You have to
Yep.
believe in. If you're gonna get into that, you got to believe in it. Don't buy that stuff if like you're kind of like short term about it, because you're betting on the success, like Tony said, of the electric car industry. There's still an argument to be made that gas vehicles are still superior to electric vehicles. So, research both sides. I'm not going to get political here, but politics do play a role in EV. You have certain politicians that are actively going against that market, right? So just do a lot of research if you decide to go into it.
And just go into it knowing that that could have some downside.
Yeah.
Because they're not making money yet.
But I like
and don't blame the CEO.
I'll say this. I like ChargePoint, Tony, but I do not like the smaller like Volta, for example. Like it's like a penny stock charging station. I don't want to take the gamble. It's already a gamble enough.
I'm going to cover the other ones in the coming weeks, just to do a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah.
We got a new Adam Aaron tweet, Stephen.
Oh, really? Right now?
Yeah.
What do you say?
He says, I was delighted by the NBA and NHL playoffs today, but it doesn't change how furious I am that the allegedly Robinhood posted today that AMC filed for bankruptcy, which they did. That was confirmed, and I saw Robinhood put out an apology. There aren't enough words to describe the incomprehensible incompetence.
Wow.
I vote we should sue.
Dang, Adam. Yo, he's not playing.
I'm going to say sue them.
But I thought he was just flexing, but it looks like he's maybe actually got some bite to that bark, huh?
It is total incompetence for Robinhood to do something like that, but I don't know what kind of legal out they have. I take every one of Adam Aaron's. People always want me to decode his tweets. What did he think he meant by checkmate? I don't ever think what you guys think. Let's just be real. You guys always think something. When he says checkmate, I think what he always meant is we're not going bankrupt and nothing more.
Yeah.
I don't ascribe to him some mystical meanings of anything. He's trying to keep retail engaged, and that is about as far as I take it.
He's very traditional, Tony. And
he's very conservative.
Yeah.
But he knows that he needs to keep retail engaged. I mean, we're his core base. So I take everything that he says with a grain of salt. And he always leaves himself some wiggle room, like, well, I said this, but they interpreted it as that. That's on them. I don't do those interpretations because I don't want to be held responsible for that.
I mean, Robinhood's misreported hundreds of things from what I've seen. So, I mean, I don't blame him if he sues them.
If AMC does sue, where would that money go? Straight to the bottom line, minus whatever. Well, I guess if we sued and won, there would not even be attorney fees. Yeah, is Sufyan still around? How does a lawsuit winnings go into the income statement, Sufyan? Earnings, income other? I don't know. We need a CPA.
I mean, could you argue, Tony, like, I mean, we don't have the information, but could you argue that post caused a decline in the market share?
You'd have to look at 130 and see if there was a price drop. I didn't look at any stock charts today, so I don't know.
I mean, I know AMC traded to like 548 today. I mean, but I don't know. That's interesting.
I want to get to Big B's question, but I saw one quick one from Doug. What about hydrogen fuel cells like Plug? I liked Plug in 2021, Doug. I need to go in and do a fresh deep dive on them. I had a lot of high hopes for them with this administration, but now we're coming to the end of this administration, and I don't know which one is going to get in power next and how much incentives and stuff are going to be given to alternative energy. So I'm not negative on Plug, but I need to do a fresh deep dive and look at their financials and kind of figure out the roadmap for the next 5-10 years on Plug and Power. Let's talk about Big B, currently holding just APE. Is it worth holding APE for the merger for arbitrage? Well, I can't give you any specific advice, Big B, but I can tell you what we're kind of bouncing around as ideas, looking at the charts. If you look at the chart last time that we thought there was going to be a settlement, APE ran up to $3. So, and it's at $1.50 right now. Where is it going to end up if AMC wins? I could make a case where I could see it moving from $1.50 towards $3. Will it hit $3? I don't know. And right now, the reason I can't really tell you for sure what to do, I mean, the time to buy APE was below $1. That was kind of like the slam dunk, no brainer. We have still legal risk, legal uncertainty. We don't know how the lawsuit's going to turn out. And if for whatever reason the settlement is denied by the judge, which I don't think is going to happen, just my opinion, just my guess, not trading advice. If there is risk that you never know what's going to happen in a court case. And if we were to lose, if the company were to lose and APE couldn't convert, it will become essentially worthless, in my opinion. So that's what I'm thinking right now. It's risky. I'd prefer to buy it at $1 than $1.50. But I will tell you what I said a week or so ago. I did buy some more APE as I got more confident that a settlement would happen. I bought some more at $1.50, and I'm crossing my fingers. No guarantees. There are no guarantees when there's a lawsuit. If the settlement goes through, what I'm kind of expecting is the price of AMC will come down a little bit from wherever it's at the end of June or July. The price of AMC will come down a little bit, and the price of APE will go up a little bit. They won't meet, I don't think, exactly in the middle, but there'll be that movement due to the arbitrage, the intrinsic value of each one relative to the other. They won't meet, I don't think, because the float is twice as high on APE. APE does have voting power. Yeah. I guess, Joey, it would depend. Look, the company, my opinion is the company needs to raise cash. We'll know more about that answer on May 5th when we see what the cash position is. But if the reverse split and conversion don't go through, then he's going to be forced to dilute with more APE. So that's going to drive the price down of APE. And we already saw it got in the 60-cent range. So if he's got to sell another 2 billion APE, you can just kind of imagine what that's going to do to the price. What do you think, Stephen?
What was the question? Sorry.
Why would APE get run down if AMC lost the lawsuit? Why would APE get run down? Because it still has voting power.
Oh, the voting power is irrelevant.
I mean, it has some value, but if APE is the only dilution tool,
yeah,
it's already at $1.50, it's going to get run down into the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's true. I mean, I'm on the other side of the fence. I don't think that's even remotely possible at this point. this company's been around for 100 years, and I see it being around for another 100 years. That's just my opinion. I mean,
GG.
wait, 1 sec, Tony. I mean, the legal counsel, they made a very, very clear that they don't want that to happen because that would be not in the best interest of AMC only holders.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the plaintiff's brief, Allegheny's brief, they said in their brief that we realize that we're probably not going to win on the merits of the case, but they're still not happy that they lost market cap by the issuance of APE, even though it was legal, and so they agreed to a settlement. Allegheny agreed to a settlement, and AMC agreed to it just to not get dragged out for a year. Because even if they could win, they need to raise cash sooner than a year of a court battle. So Allegheny settled because they realized they weren't going to win. AMC settled because it's in their best interest to raise cash sooner than later. And where was I going with that, Stephen?
The legal counsel stated that.
Oh, yeah. The plaintiff, Allegheny, said APE was not illegal. And I think with all the discovery documents they looked at, they also admitted in the plaintiff's brief that they agree it would not be in the best interest of themselves as shareholders to have this drag out, because they know, based on all the discovery, the financial condition of the company.
Yes.
And I think that we will lose money in Q1.
I think a simple way to put it is like, say you only have AMC, right? But then the APE plummets to zero, and Adam Aron's forced to sell for pennies on the dollar. Your AMC shares will inevitably decline because the company as a whole will inevitably decline. Therefore, it's not in your best interest for the APE to be illegal.
It'll decline because not only are they having to raise cash inefficiently, but they'll have to massively dilute by selling billions of more APE, which also dilutes AMC.
Yeah. It's just bad all over the place it's bad all over the place for the person who only holds AMC.
It is. Free Love says garbage lawsuit. Yeah, I think at the time they filed that lawsuit, I don't know if you guys know this, but this was also disclosed in the judge's last letter. She wanted to make sure that Allegheny's attorneys let everybody know that they filed a similar lawsuit against Snap, and they lost. They just lost on March 29th, I think was the date. And that is why Allegheny's like, yeah, we're probably going to lose this one too. So they are going to have to disclose that in the final brief or the settlement. Maybe when they filed the lawsuit, they thought they could win, but then they got the Snap judgment. They're appealing that one in the Supreme Court of Delaware. But, I'm not an attorney, but I can read regulations and laws. And to me, in my non-attorney read, and knowing that AMC filed all this stuff in 2013, it was all in the carefully laid out in the original articles of incorporation. Other companies like Citigroup have done this same thing that we did with APE. There's so much precedent to show that what AMC did was not illegal that they have very little chance of winning this case or having it dismissed as a AMC you lose. Like I'd say 99% chance, unless there's some objection that comes up that I'm not foreseeing, this thing's going to settle out.
Every time.
Are you reading comments, Stephen? I'm looking for a good question.
Oh, man. Some of them are hard to answer, but I can go for them. You pick it, I'll answer it.
Angelina says, what about the Chinese stocks going sky high?
My opinion, Angelina, is that look, I can't approve it. I can't prove anything. But my hunch is that there is nefarious activity going on. Okay. I don't shoot the messenger, but there's something probably going on in China regarding money laundering or some group getting together, but it seems coincidental how they all start ripping at the same time, and they're extremely risky. And I can't comfortably say for anyone to, remotely consider investing in those things. But yeah, it's fun while it lasts, but be careful if you guys get involved with that.
I kind of had the same feeling, like maybe it got ginned up on Wall Street bets, but I never know when I see a play getting ginned up who is behind the pumping. And it could have been a little Chinese money laundering pump and dump with a couple of carefully placed Wall Street bets comments. And then the FOMO, the retail FOMO just takes it. I don't think it was a short squeeze. I think maybe, some people tried to short it, but I did not participate in those because they're so damn unpredictable. I would have liked to, but I wasn't up early enough to catch it. I need to get my sleep pattern back to where I'm waking up at 4 a.m. so I can watch these damn things.
That's where the party's at. 4
I need
a.m.
to.
OTC.
I've been like staying up till 3 or 4 a.m. I need to get back on my regular schedule. What's up, Noisy Corax? He says, hey, go check out his YouTube channel also, by the way, a Noisy Corax. I think I've watched some of his videos, including coverage on this lawsuit. And for the most part, he's saying exactly what I would be telling you guys. We don't talk. He's been on the channel one time, but I'm not in contact with him. He's making his own independent DD. And I think he's mostly nailing it out of the park. So good job, amigo. And go give him a view and a sub on his stuff. If you want another perspective besides me, who allegedly is a paid off, shill from Adam Aaron, which I'm not. I'm not paid by anybody. I wish I was. Go check out Noisy Corax for an alternate viewpoint. Somebody who's given you some reasoned, non-emotional thought.
Did you vote yes on the if he should sue Robin Hood?
I did. I voted yes. Season Curly says, did Citigroup investors vote for their preferred shares? I haven't looked at that. I just found out about it. I was going through all of Chance the lawyer's due diligence. I know from my due diligence a couple months ago, I found at least 2 or 3 other companies that have done the exact same thing as AMC did with Ape. And I couldn't remember who they were. And it's on my to-do list to go figure out who they were. And then this weekend when I was reading, I saw she mentioned Citigroup. So I will go look that one up this week and maybe do a video about it. I just like, why at this point, why beat a dead horse? We have a settlement proposal. We're pretty sure it's going to go through. The plaintiff is advocating for it. Unless one of these retail investors is a legal eagle or hires the best, Allegheny already probably had some of the best attorneys in the country for prosecuting this kind of case. I don't know if prosecuting is the right word, but, bringing this kind of case forward in front of the Delaware Chancery Court. If they couldn't win it, I don't know what chance anybody in retail has with their homemade objections, but you all have the right to do it. I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm just giving you my opinion. Like I'd be surprised if anybody is able to overcome all the thousands of man hours that a team of lawyers at one of the best firms in the country could come up with.
Thank you, Tony, for having me on. I'm going to get going.
All right, my friend. Thank you. I don't
right.
want to be on too late either.
You have a wonderful night, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Let's see. How long have we been on here? We started at 9. It's 10:40. I'll hang out with you guys for about 20 more minutes. See what other questions we got. Hoops Dad says there's too many live streams keeping me up late. Have I put the Chat GPT extension into Chrome to give it access to the current internet data? I have not. I've messed around with Chat GPT just to see what it's all about, but I have not enabled the extension. All day, Texas Pete, are you a fellow Texan? Says a Noisy Corax A+ on the DD. I saw Noisy Corax. I think it was you. I saw some people taking some shots at you on Twitter. Also, all the people shooting the cannon fire at me. Thank you for taking some of the heat. It's tough being the only person that is trying to provide a balanced viewpoint. Like, I'm an investor with all of you guys. I want the best for our stock price, just like you do. But when I provide analysis, I got to kind of step out of that, do a real analysis, and then tell you the truth. Let's talk about the Robinhood thing for a second. Let's have some fun. Who thinks that they did that on purpose? They said it was a backroom technical error, just a glitch. I do not think AMC's filing bankruptcy. They got plenty of cash to last several quarters. Like, they're not filing bankruptcy on Friday or this week or today. Like, that was obviously bullshit. Discombobulated Chicken says 100% it was on purpose. Chris says it's on purpose. Anything goes on purpose. I see probably 97% of you saying on purpose. I agree. I think it was on purpose also. One of the very first reasons I got in this play 2 years ago, besides the fact that everybody was piling into this play, and who doesn't love a good retail squeeze? High short interest, high cost to borrow. I feel like the media is purposely, in a coordinated fashion, trying to suppress and push down the price of this stock. And I do not think that any of that is an accident. Why was top not halted? I don't know. I haven't looked at that chart in detail enough. I think I glanced at it, and what I saw looking at, like, on the 10-minute chart, it looked like it just shot straight up. I don't know. I haven't tried to do any investigation why it didn't get halted. I will. I like to understand that stuff too. There are different criteria depending if it was after hours or during trading hours, and what price level it was at, and what tier it's in, what the halt percentages are. But it just at a face value, it looked like it should have halted. When I have time to look into that, I'll let you know. AMC would have a malpractice case against the Wheelbot. Is that? I don't know what that is. Oh, you mean if AMC lost, they could have a malpractice against their own attorneys that approved the reverse split and the conversion? Yeah, I bet, if you think of the hundreds of man hours that went into creating the preferred shares in 2013, plus all the ape in 2022, AMC's attorneys were quite certain that what they were doing was in the letter of the law. Plus, it got approved by the Delaware Secretary of State, plus the SEC. Very little chance that what was done was illegal. Although, who am I to say? Not an attorney. The judge will decide. Whatever the judge decides, I will abide by, and we'll discuss it at that time. But I'm going to predict to you guys right now, and I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, if AMC wins, you're going to see a plethora of videos saying the judge was bought off. She was corrupt. She was paid. She's a plant. You watch. Mark this. Timestamp it. You're going to see it. Their hero, the Honorable Judge Zurn, the hero of the retail emotional traders, they're going to turn on her like a wolf that has reached 10 years old. The leader of the pack, they're going to turn on her and devour her. Just wait. Right now, she's she's on a pedestal because they're misinterpreting everything she's saying. I think she's doing a fine job of being impartial and holding everybody's feet to the fire. Everybody. She's doing her job. But she's not on anybody's side. That would be not doing her job. She wants the case to move forward. She wants people to file shit on time. And she wants processes and procedures followed, like sending out mail notifications, which is the standard. She's doing her job. She's not on anybody's side. She's enforcing the standards of the court. And that's what she should do. After she hears all the evidence and has time to look up any legal precedents, she'll make her decision. But the fact that the plaintiffs and the defendants have already recommended a settlement, that pretty much tells you the end game right there. Unless she's got a rabbit in her hat that we don't know about. Almost everybody said Robin Hood was doing it on purpose. Well, I'm glad we're all on the same page there. Pam the Trader, what's up? Chance is doing a great job also. Yeah, I've seen people calling her paid off. Like, I mean, literally, guys, Chance the lawyer and the company she works for have been covering the Delaware Chancery courts for a decade or more as a paid legal service to attorneys around the country, maybe around the globe. And AMC happened to drop in their lap. She don't give two shits about AMC. She doesn't even like Adam Aaron, from what I heard on my live stream. She's definitely not paid off. And the fact that she is not a fan of Adam Aaron makes me appreciate the advice she gives even more. Like I was surprised, but also happy. Like, okay, if she's telling me something and she's not a fan of Adam Aaron and her message seems logical, like she's telling us how don't write your letters too early. Don't spam the court. Wait for the right moment. I found her to be very unbiased, honest, and if that ever changes, I'll let you know. But I appreciate her, and people should get off her case from both sides. She seems like she wants to just get information out there and help everybody on whatever side you're on understand her area of expertise, which is the Delaware court. And let's please not chase her away, because we'd all be lost losing that insight. I certainly was guessing things wrong before she came along. Yeah, Doug says Chance dropped some Coinly info on Coin. I guess there's the Coinbase lawsuit. She was covering the Fox versus Dominion. She was covering Elon Musk. She's no fan of Elon Musk either. I like Elon Musk, but I still appreciated her updates on the case. She adds a bit of opinion, personal opinion, but when it comes to her legal, like here's the procedural stuff, I think you can count on that as being just here's the process. Here's what's likely to happen. Angelina says, I hope her opinion of management won't affect her decision. We're talking about Judge Zern. The interesting thing is that the last time AMC was in court with the Wanda lawsuit. That was, if I'm not mistaken, that was Judge Zurn also. Not her first time having Adam Aaron and AMC in front of her bench. And guess what? That one settled, and she approved it. SMK says, finally got popcorn at my local store. I still haven't cooked my microwaved my AMC popcorn. I'm waiting to do that live with you guys one night when we can just hang out and have some fun. I can eat some damn. Who's ever seen me eat on camera in 2 years? No, I don't think anybody has. It's one of my rules. Don't eat on camera. But I will do it. I'll make an exception. I haven't tried the microwave popcorn yet, but I'm very anxious to. I haven't even opened the box yet. Maybe tomorrow we'll do that if there's no new news. Popcorn and beer, Dark Latin says. At what point will the board hold anyone accountable for all the glitches? Yeah, I don't know. I think the media probably has a lot of. I don't know. I mean, when you post news headlines as a media, the media's put out fake bankruptcy headlines too. I'm not a media expert to know what kind of exceptions from being sued they get. And I don't know if Robinhood counts as media, so maybe we can sue them. Noisy Korak says the court favors settlement over continued litigation. I would say that's like the rule, right? The rule is the court is very protective of its time and resources. And if the parties had a disagreement and they are willing to settle it, as long as it's not screwing somebody over, the court is going to approve the settlement. The court might make a modification to the settlement, but 99% chance this is going to settle out would be my guess. I'm just mostly, guys, going to sit back and be quiet about the lawsuit. There's going to be a lot of yapping and complaining, and from all the other channels. I'm just gonna sit back and watch. If there's like some factual information I can provide you, like tonight, I'll do that. But I'm pretty sure how this is all going to end. I don't need to do 5 videos a day explaining it to you. If the court drops a letter or a motion is dropped, and I think it could be helpful to you, whether you agree with the case or not, I'll provide you the factual info. And I'm not going to interject on my fact-based videos with a bunch of complaining about how anybody's ripping anybody off or what the court really believes. That's not what I'm trying to do here on this channel. There's 20 other channels to give you emotional content. So don't ever expect that, and don't ask me to do that, and don't make a video calling me out for doing that, because that's not what I'm about. I am the antithesis, the exact opposite of the emotional, non-DD, never opened up a financial statement channels. You guys need someone that is solid. There's 1 or 2 of me in this, and there's 20 of them. So Blazin', what's up? We are almost wrapping up, amigo. 5 more minutes. I will cut a clip out of this, a 5-minute clip or so. For those of you that are tuning in late in the beginning of this video, I went over the judge's letter. I'm going to clip that out and make it a standalone video. So that'll be what I'm doing next for anyone that doesn't want to watch a 2-hour live stream of us having fun. And, the more content I put out, the more videos that all the complainers can make, because, you know, most of their content comes from what I say instead of their own original work. Oh man, I wish I had the soundboard for the laugh track on that one. Doc Zeno, what's up, amigo? Anything goes, says Tony. Do you expect AMC to have a run up through after earnings? I think that the earnings is going to come in just at what the market expects, around negative 16 cents EPS. Go watch my video from a week ago on Q1 expectations. And if we beat that, if Adam Aaron has some thing that I didn't account for, then we could run up after. Could we run up before then? Well, I don't know. There are a lot of people that, just my opinion, I think are mistaken that this company is going to make a profit in Q1 that could run it up. But I think Wall Street would beat it back down because they're doing the same analysis I am. So I think it would be tough, honestly. Tough to get any meaningful run up this week. The best run up would happen if there's a surprise on the earnings. You might see some movement up on Friday. Yeah, the cash on hand. So balance sheet right now from Q4 showed about 600 million plus 200 million on the credit facility. I'm not counting that 200 million. 600 million cash. And then on my video last week, I estimated that AMC has, between the Antara deal that closed in the Q1 plus the additional ape that they sold, I'm estimating that they maybe made around 170 extra million, maybe 200, maybe 200. So AMC has somewhere, I think, going into Q1, 600 to 800 million in cash, and we probably spent about 200 to 240. So we might end Q1 right where we started, or a little bit less, maybe 550, 500. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. I don't have all the info they do. just throwing out my my DD. Yeah, I saw Bigham said he's been moving. Probably had some stalkers. I don't know. I don't talk to him on a regular basis. So. All day Texas. Pete, thank you. Says Tony, ANC, Bigham's. Thank you all for your time and energy. Oh man, I got the time and I got the energy. It is just draining dealing with all the. It is disappointing and disheartening to me to see all the misinformation that is being put out there by so many other people. It just makes me feel bad. It makes me feel sad for all the people that sop that up and believe it. Only time will tell you if I'm correct or they're correct. So all I can do is sit back and wait. But you know, March 3rd, vaporized. Remember when Lou told me? Lou told me, was that 2022? Tony Denaro, you're going to be vaporized on March 3rd when you see all those transparency regulations. I'm like, all right, you have failed to properly estimate my patience. And of course, he was wrong. You know, all these non-DD guys are always wrong. I just got to be patient because my type of DD takes time to prove itself out. I was talking to my wife the other day. We were talking about that. She's like, that was just last month, March. I was like, no, babe, that was a year ago. She's like, really? Are you sure? I was like, yeah. A year went by like that. We've been nose to the grindstone and working this shit so hard That was actually like over a year ago. Smooth Operator, thank you. 8 months as a member of the channel. I appreciate you very much. Can I do the Lou impression? Which one? The one where he's like always that, or the ooh, hello, my little silly motherfuckers. You notice he doesn't say that anymore? You can't say curse words in the first few seconds of your video. YouTube will demonetize it. I know he's not a YouTuber, but he does want to get paid. That's why he puts out 20 videos of bullshit a day. Still waiting to, he said he didn't vote, and I didn't see a motion from Lou to object. So I'm just making the deduction based on logic that he doesn't own any shares. He didn't file a motion. You didn't write in a letter. And you said, I heard him say he didn't vote. He never got his proxy. Well, I can read between the lines, my friend. I can't say this as a fact, but I'm going to guess he doesn't own any shares. He's in it to string people along with 20 videos a day and get paid. And I could do that too, but to do real DD takes time. If I can do one a day, that's pushing it for me. All right. Did we cross the 2-hour mark? I think we did. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. If it wasn't for you guys, if it wasn't for you, honestly, those of you that want the unvarnished truth, the real DD, I would not be covering AMC because it's just not worth it. It's like I don't know what's the metaphor for like trying to hold your hand up against a fucking tsunami coming in of bullshit and bad DD and speculation and emotion and just outright bullshit. I don't need that. There's so many other stocks I could cover and help you guys make money on, but I almost feel an obligation to be like a Gandalf. You shall not pass, against all the fucking bullshitters out there. I actually started my channel off 2 years ago calling out the bullshit, but it's so unrelenting, and they don't ever care. They don't ever stop. That I've had to get only if it really crosses the line will I call them out. But I'm glad you guys found me. I thank you for your support and kind words, and for being here, and for watching the channel. Share the good word. Everybody is a valued member in this play. I appreciate everybody that really holds the stock and is here for the next run up. Whether you agree with everything I say or not is not important. But if you're lying to the folks, there will be a day where all of that, not by me, but the folks that are lying and making shit up, there will be a day that all of that is very apparent to people, because you're just never going to be right. Thank you, guys. I love you. I am here for you. I'll always be in your corner, not always the popular corner. We'll see you on the next video. Drop me a comment if you have questions, if you caught this on a replay, if you got any other tickers you want me to know about, or do some DD on. I've got a 2-week list right now. So if we can catch a few days of nothing interesting happening in the lawsuit, then I can get some other videos out. And I'm going to be talking some more this week about the SIE exam. And there'll be some content coming out. If you're not interested in it, that's fine. It'll be for any of the other tens of thousands of people that take that exam every year. Just trying to build the channel, with different content that can help people with my experience, my opinions, my thoughts, what I lived through, getting ready for that. Whew. All right, guys. Have a good night.